in the woods again today, just wandering about, looking at risk trees as they class them, which there ain't really any, to be fair. Some moderate risk stuff in here, if not low, because hardly any beggar walks through this bit. But it's nice actually. Some interesting trees like this one here. Try and twist the camera so you can see it. He's got all kinds of brackets and funguses and great big dirty holes in him. But he's an interesting looking tree. And if it's any, if it's in the garden, that's bad. If it's in the garden, you'd probably condemn the blasted thing. But here, all these multi-bulb things and multis off the stems, they ain't going nowhere. And they're not going to hurt if they do. Because the chance of falling down when some poor side comes walking through is so bloody minimal, it's out of this world. But that's where we are with this one. I think I've done about 11,000 steps so far today. Just walking around looking at trees. And in the grand scheme of things, as an office, it ain't too bad. It's quite bloody good actually. There's all loads of coppice stalls, all ash coppice. There's a bit of dieback in places, but nothing to worry about, you know. Now the tablet's gone to sleep again. But that's what we're doing today. We've got to try and find an observation tower, and it looks like I've gone down a bloody dead end. Despite what the map said, I've gone down a dead end. No, I haven't. There's a thing here. We'll keep going and we'll have a look and see what we can see. You ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and all that kind of cool stuff can come through along for the... Still in the woods. Loads of stuff here, like all these hazel coppice stalls. That's a right old school, old fashioned method of management. Works well. As long as the deer don't come along and eat the beggar. I'm just gawping at this nice oak. Also had plenty of footfall over it and rub the root plate and, well, the exposed roots I should say. Didn't hurt it at all really in the grand scheme of things. This nice tree standing there in a field of bloody hazel coppice to one side and scrubby natural regen birch to the t'other. Yeah, coppice works real well as long as the deer don't eat it all off. I dare say there's several in here. I have seen a couple of fallow already this morning. I had to delay then because I was listening to something. Because sometimes you just need to listen rather than look and hear, and you'll learn a lot more than what you ever would do before. Yeah, it looks like it's all lots of regions, loads of ash. I did say a minute ago that there was a lot of ash, and that was most likely would have a bit of dieback. Yeah, alright. We do have ash dieback in this country, caused by fungus, Hymenus Syphus fractionea, I believe is how you pronounce it. We've got it. Is it as bad as certain individuals like to make out? I don't think so, personally. A lot of them seem to get dry, the canopy dies back as it would, you know, the upper canopy dies back, drops bits. Is it all that nasty and prevalent? I don't know. I ain't convinced it is. I'm not convinced that a lot of stuff that's being ordered as having ash dieback isn't canopy dropping back because of drought. I've had a lot of drought in these summers. Well, I've had a lot of dry summers, I should say. And it seems every man and his dog who's in the tree world has forgot that ash doesn't like dry summers, and it tends to go brittle. And it's not to say the canopy's not dropping back because of that. It's not to say that once it rehydrates and reaches turgor that it'll be as good as gold again, to be honest. Speaking of ash, there's a nice one. Awful as a timber tree. more awful looking as a timber tree. There's one with a great big hole in the bottom. Look at that. Not worth a light as a timber tree, but God, it looks pretty. And that's ideal in a setting here, where we're not looking at it from a commercial forestry perspective. No, we're not looking to get a return out of it because it's a nature reserve. And all they're worried about is branches not falling on people's heads and everything looking pretty. And I have to keep doctoring this camera, and it's probably going to be all over the place. It's going to be the worst video I've ever made. Some more oak, all because I can't look at it as a beach. I don't know why there's a lot of beach. There seems to be a lot of beach around here. There's some decent beach back up the road at Southey Woods. That's Forestry Commission stuff. That's good timber up there. That's a nice bit of well managed beech woodland in parts up there, and there's some softwoods and bits and bats. Whereas here, it's nature reserve stuff, standard. Looks alright, looks pretty. It's good for habitat in places, I suppose. As long as the underlay scrub doesn't get too bad. But is it really any better than a bit of woodland that's managed for timber production? I don't know. Certain herberts with degrees in ecology say yes. I ain't convinced. I see just as much as what they do, if not flipping more. But that's only because I get out of bed and get a bit earlier than what they do. There you are. Let me show you this beach, because this looks wicked. Look at that. Oh, yeah, you can't see it. But you can now. Look at that. All the decay and the holes and stuff in it. It's a wicked looking tree. It's useless for timber. Useless if it was in your garden. But here, it's not hurting at all. It's magic, to be fair. We need to remember that. We need to remember that balance, and we shouldn't keep applying forestry prejudices to absolutely everything. And the industry needs to remember that. It really needs to remember that. And then at the same point, these nature reserve boys really should sometimes remember that timber production would make it a bit easier to maintain and manage. They'd have a few more quid and it would be self-sufficient. But that's an argument for another day.